I've been thinking about the good times. I've been sleeping through the long nights. I've been shining in the sunlight.
Hello, lovely people. I'm back in the sewing room. This is Nicola at Stitches and Slapdashery. And now I'm wishing I had a mug with my logo on it so that I could sort of hold it up and show it to the camera when I'm introducing myself. Maybe I could get that sorted. We'll see. I just went to name myself a decaf Yorkshire tea because I'm in between distracting myself from sewing by filming little segments for the vlog. The other day I pointed the camera at the niche over there, which used to be a closet in this bedroom, which is now my sewing room, and went through all my fleece and chenille and all that other stuff that was piled up in there. It's a little more organized now, but I still want to get some sort of shelving idea in there because it's not very practical. Just now I went through all my drawers over to my left here. They're just freestanding little wheeled plastic cabinets with drawers in, and there's a whole bunch of doodads and fabric in there, so I went through all that, and if it came out okay, I'll pop both of those segments into the video after this. I also sorted out my bobbins and threads, which was nice because, you know, sometimes you just finish with something, you toss it back in the general direction of where it's supposed to be, and yeah, it doesn't actually make it to the right place. So as I said, I am procrastinating because filming is so much more fun sometimes than batch sewing. Not always, but sometimes. I just want to show you some of the things I've made, and then I'll move on and make some more of the same. But first, I bought this board book recently for my great nephew. It's really cute. It's called Baby Octopus Finger Puppet Book, and it's by Yuxuan Huang. Terrible Mandarin pronunciation there. I do know how to read pinyin, but yes, I don't know what the inflection is. So this is a cute little board book, and obviously on each page you can put your finger in the back there and sort of make the octopus talk or whatever to entertain a baby. And I thought, okay, my tradition is for babies to buy a board book and crochet a toy to go with it. So I crocheted an octopus, of course. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the designer's name on this, but I found the pattern on Ravelry. It is available for free off Ravelry. You can buy an ad-free PDF or something, I think, but I just went from the free version on their website or blog. Color Octopus is spelt the American way without the U, and it only took me, okay, it says in the pattern it should take you less than an hour, and it is a very quick project, but at the first I was getting the tentacles wrong, I was spacing them wrong, I was putting them too close together, and if I hadn't paid attention I probably would have ended up with 10. So what you call an octopus that has 10 legs, a decapus. So I figured out what I was doing wrong and redid it, made sure I had the right number of stitches and I was placing the legs correctly, and it is really, really simple and easy. And I used, see if I can remember the yarn name, it was Jody long Coastline in the color Waves, and it's a rayon nylon linen blend. And I thought that having a yarn with lots of natural fiber content would be nice for a baby, as it may get gummed a lot. It's quite nice yarn. I love the fact that the color is not a solid. You can see this, but color is not solid because it has a white fluffy core, and then the dyed strands are kind of wrapping themselves around it. So it's a soft color. So I was really pleased with that, apart from the frustrations with his legs, or her legs, or its legs, or their legs. I don't know why we give genders to some things that don't need it. Remember the old days when men always called their car she? Maybe they still do, I don't know. Yeah, probably not a thing anymore. So what I wanted to do is get some, obviously, more product made for the craft market in the summer. I had in mind to do some project bags for knitters and crocheters. I used to make these a lot. I don't really need to look at a tutorial for it anymore, but I did need to work out the math. So I had a look at some of the bags I already own to get an idea of size and proportion. And I drew up this whole sheet here of the sizes that I wanted to end up with for a small, medium and large, and then all the bits I had to cut out. Decided to do it as a drawstring bag because then I don't have to faff around with zippers, but I'll probably do zippered ones as well. And I didn't bother with a handle because I feel like when you've got a drawstring bag with cord, comes out both sides, you can carry it from the cord. So I didn't put a handle on it. I did put a slip pocket inside it. I'm really croaky today. Excuse me while I take another sip. I'm really proud of Mr. Stitches today. We're just finishing up week 6 of his cancer treatment. He's got 1 more week to go, and his throat seems to have amped up a little bit. And we tried out not long ago cream of wheat in the hope it might be something smooth that he could eat better. And he ate a whole bowlful of it this morning. We both had it. We put our omega-3 6-9 oil in it, a little bit of coconut sugar and lots of oat milk, and it was really good. Well, as good as cream of wheat can be, because not something I would want to eat a lot. I prefer just good old oatmeal myself, and so does he. And I don't think he's ever going to want to look at cream of wheat again after this. But it was a nice smooth option. Anyway, I'm digressing again, aren't I? So I'll show you the bags I made. This is a really fun fabric. So at first I was figuring out all my measurements as if I was just doing a solid 1 piece of fabric for the outer. But then I decided to split it so that you have the denim on the bottom, or you could use vinyl. They always look a bit more special somehow when you do this sort of two-tone effect. You can have denim or vinyl on the bottom, which adds a little bit of extra weight, and they stand nicely. And then quilting cotton on the top, and then I just use the same quilting cotton on the inside. Remember my labels, I always say that, don't I? And a little slip pocket with a divider down the middle, just a really small one. I think I'm going to scale up the slip pocket a little bit for the larger bags. The size of the drawstring channel, I'll just do the same for all of them though. So this is an 8-inch bag, if you don't count the base. And I think that would be really good for putting a sock project in, or something else that's just small. So I made 6 bags altogether yesterday. It took me the major part of the day. I started in the morning. The cutting out and prep always seems to take so much longer than the sewing. But I started in the morning, I did more in the afternoon after lunch, and then after we'd had dinner and a walk, I did more in the evening. So the 2 that I made out of that fabric, they're very slightly different depending on which animals ended up in the piece of fabric that I cut. And then I made 2 robin ones. You've seen the robin fabric before. And these are my favorites. I did not fussy cut the fabric, I'll tell you that now. So the positioning of the print could have been better, but I didn't want to waste fabric. So this is a lovely one with bikes and mopeds and roses on it. And I used the pink for the pocket on that one, and for the drawstring cord. And then for the other one, when I had cut the pieces out for the outer and the inner, I had a size that was perfect for a pocket piece. So that one's got pocket, which is just the same fabric. But I think those are really fun. And you'll notice these don't have drawstring cords yet. because I don't have enough drawstring cord to put on them. So I will be going down to the fabric shop again. I hear a rumor there's a big sale coming up. One of the good things about being an ex-member of staff is you get little insider tips sometimes. So I will be going, and I figured that for 6 small, 6 medium, 6 large bags, I need 23 yards of cord, which is about 21 meters. So I'm hoping it's on deep discount when I need to go and get it. So thanks to my procrastination about the sewing and the fact that I ended up going through my drawers, not those drawers, and my thread and my bobbins, everything looks okay right now. So I am ready to start cutting for the medium-sized bags. I feel like that first segment was a little flat. I hope you didn't feel like it was flat because, yeah, it wasn't supposed to be. The reason I decided to film an extra little bit is that I went and cut out all of these pieces for the medium-sized bags and then went up and had a bit of lunch and started to edit. And I just wanted to say, this is going to be a long video, but if you don't want to hear me waffling on about my fabric stash, you can just fast forward through those bits, right? I went through my closet area, went through the drawer area, and I am editing out some of it. But if you find it boring, just skip to the next better bit, okay? Because it's long. Of course, if you have some knitting or crochet in your hands and a cup of tea or something like that, then maybe you won't mind it. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting to go through all the fabrics I had. Maybe another day I'll have to go through all my yarns as well. That won't be on this video. This one's already going to be long enough. I've mentioned this pile of fleece a number of times now, and I'm going to bite the bullet and see what's underneath here because I've forgotten everything that's in here. I've got this beautiful chunk of granny square fleece plus some bits and pieces. I have a little bit of rainbow fleece left over that I made a pyjama set out of. And another piece. Some very fluffy faux fur. Tiny bit of that left. More of the pink boucle. Massive piece of almost like a sheepskin type fabric that I got for free from a pile of stuff from a lady who died, and her husband got rid of all her stuff. It looks like a bit of interfacing. That's in the wrong place. I have a spot for interfacing. Oh, I know why that's there. This pile of stuff came from a woman at the fabric shop. I wasn't working there anymore, and I was shopping there. And one of the customers said, would I like this pile of fabric? She had already cut all the pieces out and decided that she didn't want to go through with it and make it. So I inherited a pile of that. It's lovely. It's like a double-sided fleece. Oh, I should probably retrieve that piece of interfacing and leave it with that. I have more of this lovely fluffy stuff left. Ooh, this is a jersey knit. Quite a sturdy one. Big chunk. I'd forgotten I had that. Little piece of pink Berber chenille. Tiny, tiny bit of rainbow chenille. some scraps of a Hello Kitty fleece. Now I've had this for years and years. Hoping you can see this. I'm not sure if I've got the camera set up right. But this is a Hello Kitty fleece that I made some pajama pants out of. Pre-COVID. That's been in the stash a really long time. Trying to decide what this is. It feels kind of fleecy, but isn't stretchy, and is in a really dull sort of khaki or olive green. I must have been given that too, because I wouldn't have bought that. Big chunk of white fleece. Oh, a huge chunk of... now this is not the same as the pink boucle. This is a different one that I bought a bunch of because it was super cheap. And I did try making something out of it, but I don't think I liked it. Not sure what I'm going to do with that. Another random piece of fabric in quite a pretty print. Brought it home to knit. No idea what I'm going to do with that either. Hoping to get some inspiration from all these scraps. Now this, not much left of this, but I made a onesie out of this one. I don't remember whether I've ever worn it on the vlog. I may have done. Maybe during Vlogtober or Vlogmas, I might have been wearing that on the vlog. I made myself a onesie that first time I had made that pattern, and I ended up having all the Hello Kitty heads upside down. Still love it though. Some bits of jersey. I made some baby clothes out of that for my new great nephew. Some scraps of that left. Don't know how useful they are. Little piece of turquoise llama fabric. I have to keep checking that I've got the fabric in the frame, because I've got the camera. The phone is the other way around than I usually use it. So this is a turquoise llama fleece that I bought and made my sister a onesie with. A little bit super stretchy activewear fabric. I think I might have to have a clear out of some of this stuff. Send it to the thrift shop. Buffalo plaid fleece, that's quite a good chunk of it. Another random bit of activewear that's got a massive hole in it. I think I might have made myself a sweater out of this stuff. Or maybe this is a piece I didn't use yet. Oh, no, it doesn't look like I've cut into it yet. That's just a thin jersey. Oh, more Hello Kitty. Blue Hello Kitty and pink Hello Kitty. And a little piece of grey knit and turquoise knit. This, I think, is a French terry. Not getting any super inspiring thoughts about all this yet. A little piece of knit. Now this really is my knit niche, but I do have some bigger pieces that are not knits in here because I didn't have anywhere else to put them. I have some white toweling. Massive piece of what I think is yellow linen. You guys have got any suggestions for what to make with some of this stuff? A bit of Canada flannelette, a little bit of yellow, cute stuff. Those small pieces of flannelette, which I did cut into to send gifts over to my niece. This is really cute flannelette. This has little dachshunds on it. Dachshunds. Very, very cute. And I made myself a bathrobe, I guess you'd call it. Fantastic for putting on after a shower because it's flannelette. It's nice and absorbent. Good for the warmer months. Another remnant of jersey in a very cute print. Another jersey with a snail print on it. Made myself some shorts out of that, just around the house pyjama shorts. Another piece of what looks like French terry. Random knit. Random fleece pieces. Massive piece of turquoise knit. Now last summer, if you've been watching my vlogs since last summer, you will have seen me make a t-shirt and possibly a tank top out of that. But I still have a huge chunk of it left. Well, I'm gonna have to use that up. Purple fleece. Oh, love this stuff. I had this in green, red, and also a sort of pastel rainbow. Tie-dye on one side, stripes on the other, double knit. Made myself a few things out of this. Garments. Still a bit left. Lots of black stretch knit. Pretty sure I made myself a couple of things out of that last summer as well. It's all creased because it's been stuck under a pile of other things. I think that might be just a bit of broadcloth. Now we're into some really random bits. Heavier cottons. A little bit of linen. A little bit of tie-dye. Made myself a gorgeous apron out of this one. This flowery one here. Absolutely beautiful fabric. Unfortunately, because I've worn the apron and actually used it for cooking, it's not looking so good anymore. And I'm really excited because I have just found some ripstop nylon, and I was looking for that a couple of weeks ago and I can't remember why now. Oh, yes, I do remember why. My husband was walking along and caught his sleeve of his waterproof jacket on a fence. And it just broke the outside layer. It didn't go all the way through, but I was able to repair it quite easily. I didn't end up needing this, but I'm glad I found it because now I know where it is. More very furry fur. Really, really, can you see that? Really long pile on that fur. Now we're into a massive bag of more knit pieces. As you can see, this is where my old mechanical Jeni lives. You can barely see it. I'll lift it up. This is the old girl here. She lives in here because I don't use her anymore. But every now and again, my youngest son likes to sew something, and so he gets it out and uses it. Okay, so what have we got in here? More knits, more bits of fleece. This is a fun one. I'm nearly killing myself falling over fabric here on the floor. This is gorgeous. I absolutely adore this fabric. So this one, it's flowery and pink, and then it has a section of black and daisies. and I arranged the fabric. When I cut out the top I made with this, I had it so the pattern was perfectly aligned. The pink flowers was at the top of my chest and the black daisies was around the lower body. Sleeves matched as well. It looked fantastic. Lots more fleece pieces. Far too many fleece pieces. A mouse print. Now this mouse fleece I got for free, I think, because, or discounted, because the printing is wrong. The little pink of the ears is supposed to be right lined up in there, and it's not. It got printed wrong. Ah, there's some more of the blue fleece that I was wearing yesterday. I made that lovely big sweater out of that. Here we go. Here is a piece of this other colorway of this tie-dye fabric. Oh my god, I forgot I had this bit. It's so gorgeous, and it looks like that on the back. That was the second colorway, apart from the green, and then the red colorway had just red, pink stripes on the back. And red and orange. Absolutely gorgeous colors. And again, I think I ended up getting it for a good price because there were some flaws in it. If ever you want to stash fabric, I recommend going to work at a fabric store. So more random bits of knitwear. Or pink Hello Kitty. Oh, now this is what I thought I had. I was thinking about this when I decided to dig out all this fabric. This is the remnant I bought, which is a gorgeous sort of teal shiny knit, which is textured and sort of soft, like a slight pile to it on one side and then just smooth on the back. And I was thinking that if I decided to make dice bags, for example, that would be a lovely plush fabric to use. So I'm going to keep that piece out. Another chunk of the red tie-dye. Quite a lot of it, actually. Whew. And then I'm going to have to turn you around for this bit, I think. So up on the top shelf there, I've got various bits of paper and other things that I've made. A couple of seasonal quilts, that sort of thing. Some rubber stamp stuff. And at the side shelves of this old closet have more fabric. There's a stash of post-it notes and things there that I got from somewhere. Again, because I didn't have anywhere else to put them. So let's see what we've got in here. Let's move this out of the way. All right, so in here, got these remnants from a sweater and those other little pouches I made the other day. Some minky or dimple chenille, random knit, random fleece bits, more fleece bits, plaid fleece bit. Made Mr. Stitches some pajama bottoms out of those last year, I think, or the year before, actually, probably the Christmas before last. Random bit of fleece, or random bits of fleece. Love this one. Made a dog coat out of this. Not because I have a dog, but because I made it for display at the shop. And it's a lovely mild knit on one side and then fleecy on the back. And then another random piece, which I think has a flaw in it somewhere. So if ever I use it, I'll have to be careful what I do with it. This is not fabric. It's actually my finished overalls from last summer, which I want to alter. I have tulle in there for making scrubbies for the kitchen. So in here I have a massive chunk of pink toweling. Again, not something I would have bought, but I got it in that pile of stuff from that lady who died. So I didn't show you this the other day, but these are the pieces of canvas that I dyed the other day when I did the denim. So that was unbleached canvas, and that was the coral. And then this is how the indigo one turned out. Now let's see. More little bits of fleece. More bits of fleece. Baby lamb one. More Hello Kitty, and a random rainbow one. And I think we're nearly there, except for this big fluffy grey thing, which I think, you know what, I don't know if I even want to keep this. Very soft, but I mean, you can see it's got some flaws in it. This is why I got to bring it home. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. This big cabinet at the bottom has photographs in it. You know, those old-fashioned things that we used to have before we had camera phones? Before we went digital? Yeah. Got all the kids' knickknacks and photos from years back in there. And a whole bunch of random SHIT down here, like notebooks and clipboards and stuff from classes I took, like a knitting course and various other things. So now I just have to put this lot back again. Let's have a look at the mess I made. Let me just step back and yeah, I'm sniffing now. I think I have a mild allergy to fabric, which is kind of funny, isn't it? I always got a sniff when I was working at the store. So this is what it all looks like. Pulled out and thrown on the floor. Well done, Nicola. You've made yourself a lovely big tidying job. But hey, at least I know what I've got again now. You know what? Next, I'll go through the drawers on the other side of the room. But not until I've tidied this lot back away again. The other day, I pulled all this stuff out and weeded out a few bits of fabric for other purposes and put it back in, not very tidily. I think I'm going to go to the dollar store and look for some clear bins, which I can put these in more neatly. These bits of paper right here are all my instructions to myself for the things I've made, so that if I need to go back and make another batch of them, I've got all the information right there. I stuffed the stash of denim under the desk, which is where it usually lives, but it was on the floor and it was just getting in the way. This is my stash of interfacings. I've got various ones in this box here: heat and bond, fusible, bits and pieces, cotton batting, fusible fleece, polyester batting. There's a heavyweight interfacing here, which I was going to use for making sort of basket things, but I ended up not using it. But I'll get around to it. And these are all my scraps in here. And those are denim scraps in there. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pull out the contents of these drawers here. Remind myself what I've got. See what fun stuff is hiding in there. Hope you enjoy the view of me wearing my Hello Kitty pajamas. When you're bumming around the house, who wants to wear tight jeans, right? Okay, well, I've obviously hit a snag right at step one because I cannot get that top drawer out. I should really be sewing today. I'll do it later. I had a productive day yesterday. googly eyes. Probably should go in with my safety eyes, maybe. Broken tape measure. Goodbye to that. Elastic needs to go with my other elastics. Pretty tile, probably should be hanging up. An embroidery my mum did for me years and years ago. It was a birthday card embroidery, cross stitch thing. Aha! My tin for my blunt blades. I was wondering where I'd put that. I've got something to put in there. Right here. A name tag from a knitting retreat, I think. Oh, various pins that I got over the years. I'll show you these two. So these two pins here, and you see that? They are pins that I earned when I did the Sark to Jersey rowing race. It was, let's see, I rowed as one of a crew of 4 plus a cox. Oh, I've got 3 of them. Why have I got 3 of them? I only did it twice. So yes, rowing from Sark to Jersey. Part of a coxed 4 large sea-going rowing boats, not sliding seats. When I was in my 20s. You want to go and check out where Sark and Jersey are, look for the Channel Islands in the English Channel. It's still going, the Sark to Jersey rowing race. Takes a couple of hours or so, depending on your ability. And it's very hard work. The script fabric is great, except that the black does tend to leave grubby marks on your kitchen floor. Ask me how I know. I put it on the bottom of slippers a couple of times, and I've used the white and the black. And black are a bit of a pain for that. Oh, that's interesting. That drawstring threader comes with an extra little doohickey, which I've forgotten about. This is just tops of some drapes that I kept for the grommets, or for using the fabric with the grommets in it. I don't know if I ever will use it. My tube turner's fallen all over the place. And there's a dowel missing for that. Ah, a little crocheted hedgehog. Should find somebody to give that to, shouldn't I? Snap tape. Oh, grommets. This is a whole bunch of vinyl squares, really tiny vinyl scraps that came in on the rolls of vinyl when I was working at the fabric store, and my son was working in the warehouse and he saved me a whole bunch of little pieces. Not sure what I'm going to use those for. little pouch I made for myself. What's it got in it? Oh, knitting clips. All right, well, that's the 3 drawers that just have bits in them and no fabric. I think we'll just put some stuff back in tidily now. And a basket, a very floppy basket I made myself out of a banana yarn, which was a fun experiment, but as you can see, it does not hold its shape at all well. So this one's pretty unexciting. It's got my sewing machine manual and some bits of notes and patterns that I've used in the past. Pattern paper, random stickers. Ooh, I was going to go and get some of these from the dollar store. They're just tiny little rectangular stickers, which I could probably use to price my products when I get to the market. Keep those out. Okay, you can go back in. This is cereal packet paper. I put it into a baby crinkly toy thing once. I'll go in with my other pattern things. Aida cloth for cross stitch. Polypropylene fabric, which I was using for mask filters. Oh, a fusible web. Huh, who knew? My Prim knitting mill, which is something I've had for a really long time. I use it on and off. It makes yards and yards of I-cord really quickly and easily. Random little wooden piece of stuff for the end of a dowel. Paper pattern from a top that I designed myself. Oh, and some more bits of things that I printed out to make things. Slippers that I cut up to make more slippers. That worked out okay. Now we're into the fabric. Okay, so this is mostly flannelette, I think, in these drawers. Made one son some pajamas out of this one. Made myself a brilliant plaid shirt out of that one. I was really pleased with that. This is the woven stuff I pulled out of the closet area the other day. Ah, there's a little bit of flannelette in here. Okay, buffalo plaid. Just white flannelette. Massive chunk of plaid that I probably should find a use for. That would make great pajama bottoms, wouldn't it? Another big chunk of flannelette. Again, that would make great pajamas too. Actually, one of the things I was thinking about for plaid was putting it with the denim. I think that would make really fun bags, actually, to put the plaid with the denim. Not this one so much, it's very, very dull. At least this one has some blue in it. That would go really, really well with denim. I think I might keep that one out. This is a fun flannelette. Very Canadian. Again, some rather small pieces there, but you just never know when you just need a little piece, right? Solid blue. Oh, this is fun. This is the one I used for my ironing board. Look at tea and coffee cups all over it. It says spiced sweet. Perfect. That's a really fun one. If I make any bags out of this, I'd have to interface it though. It's very soft and floppy. Oh, another big chunk of plaid. Again, a rather dull colour again. I did not buy these dull plaids. I got them in the job lot from my friend. Another little bit of flannelette. Some more scraps. Oh, this is a pretty flannelette. I've never used it, I don't think. Still haven't found the perfect use for that, but I will. Right, now I'll put some of these wovens in that I found in my fleeces the other day. I really like this, like a twill. And this is a cool remnant that I brought home years ago, and it's different colours on each side. Again, not sure what to use that for. Oh, yes, I do know what to use that for. Put that aside. I have an event that I'm on a committee for later in the year, and we're going to have a silent auction. And I have been buying baskets from the thrift shops for the silent auction. And we'll need scarves or some other cloth to go inside the basket to make the products inside look nice. So I pulled out a few pieces from my stash now, which will work perfectly. Made myself some awesome harem pants out of this last summer. Best thing ever. Random bits of tulle. And there's still more. Maybe I can fit this big yellow piece in here. Perfect. Okay, I'll leave the best for last, so we'll go do these drawers next. My floor is again in need of vacuuming in here, but I thought I'd better wait until I had done this job, just in case it added more stuff to the floor. Oh, I have a big piece of this left. Oh, isn't that pretty? So pretty. Okay, what we got? More canvas. Canvas and not sure what that is. Very long thin strip of what feels like ticking. Random piece of fabric that I really need to find a use for. Feel like that would make a great bag. Let's keep that one out for now. Bit of linen. Bit of upholstery fabric. Oh yeah, this was a freebie from the deceased lady too. Pretty embroidered fabric. Quite a big chunk of it. I'll have to have a look at that and see how much I have of it. Oh, some tie-dye that I still haven't used up. That's been in the stash for a long time. Wow, look at that. I freed up a bin. And now for the prettiest. This is my precious stash of batiks. Oh, aren't they beautiful? They really are beautiful. I know some people don't care for them, but those people are just plain weird. Oh, croquis today. So all of these batiks, I have cut into some of them. I made quite a few masks during COVID and also after COVID when we travelled and we got back to flying again. And I have made a few things, but mostly I have bought these because I wanted to have them in the stash and admire them every now and again. Isn't that terrible? I don't know. So yeah, there's so many different colours in here. Turtle ones. There is a set of turtle ones that I did buy from a quilt shop in Maui. I've been to Maui twice, and the first time we stayed in Kihei, and there was a lovely little quilt shop there. Obviously, I can't even give away the smallest or get rid of the smallest scraps. No, I think those are just ridiculously small to keep. Huh. Part of a mask. Yes, it was a really, really fun shop. Of course, because everything's in US dollars and because it's Maui, it's all super expensive. But, you know, I had to get a souvenir. So I got my turtle pin cushion and I got a tiny little zippered pouch which had some sewing essentials in. And then I got this turtle batik set. So beautiful. Absolute sucker for batiks. This is one of my favorites, the flower one. And there's dragonflies, flowers, more turtles, more turtles. It's funny how when I went to Maui, I was too scared to go swimming where or snorkeling where there might be turtles because I get a little freaked out in the sea. I'm an absolute chicken when it comes to wanting to stay away from large fish or other creatures in the ocean, and yet I love turtle prints. So gorgeous. You know, if I had wanted to use these up, I could have just made everything for my market stall out of batiks, and I would have been super happy to show them. But I know they're not for everybody. As I say, those people are weird. Those people are definitely weird. How could you not love these? The colours, the designs, they are just so awesome. Butterflies. And my husband loves them too. He will never begrudge me spending money on fabric if it's to add to this collection, because he loves them too. And the batik masks were just as much for him as they were for me. Okay, this is getting too heavy for me to hold up now. Oh, there's some smaller scraps in the bottom there. I've got to put it down. Oh, I just love them so much. They're all washed and ironed and ready to use anytime I want, and I will use them eventually. I know that saving things for best is not always a good idea because you might end up never using them. You know, I might die before I get to use them. I'm obviously in a tidying mood today. The filled bobbins are a mess. Just going to give those guys a haircut. Now I actually have too many filled ones for this container. Maybe I'll rethink this.
I've been thinking about the good times. I've been sleeping through the long nights. I've been shining in the sunlight. I've been thinking how I'm alright. There's a reason for my feelings. There's a reason why I'm healing. Yeah, I feel higher than the ceiling. All because of you. You and I were so sweet, so sweet. Talking till we asleep, asleep. Every night I fall deep, but love, yeah. Cause you really get me, make me fall to my knees, my knees. Every night I fall deep, but love, yeah. Wait a minute, don't you leave before I get to kiss ya. Wait a minute, I don't wanna be without you. Yeah, wait a minute, I can let you go before I kiss ya. Wait a minute, I just need a minute or two. I should catch up on my reading. I should catch up on my eating. Yeah, but it's hard to keep a thought straight with you all up in my face. Try to get you out my mind, but why should I when you're all I really like? Yeah, I feel higher than a mountain, all because of you. You and I were so sweet, so sweet. Talking till we asleep, asleep. Every night I fall deep, but love, yeah. Cause you really get me, make me fall to my knees, my knees. Every night I fall deep, but love. Wait a minute, don't you leave before I get to kiss you. Wait a minute, I don't wanna be without you. Yeah, wait a minute, I can let you go before I kiss you. Wait a minute, I just need a minute or two. Minute with you is all I want. Minute with you is all I want. Minute with you is a minute with you.
This is a new little segment I thought I'd add in where I put something I've made onto my dress form and show you what it is and what I used for it. I had to look it up. My Ravelry project page is from 2017. It's a poncho. I think I've only worn it a couple of times. It's lovely, but yeah, ponchos are just one of those not so practical things to wear in Canada. They're either too warm or too cool, depending on the time of year. So I made it, yes, 2017. It's a beautiful square. The pattern is free for the square. It's a big happy flower square by Jeni Entwhistle, and I will link below, of course. And I crocheted it with double-stranded Stylecraft Special DK. And the color pack was the Attic24 Coastal color pack. Attic24, Lucy, she just puts the most amazing color combinations together. She does a blanket make along every year, and her designs are beautiful. Simple to crochet, but color is everything. I'll just turn her around and show you the back. Whoops, tippy tippy. So that's just basically a long rectangle made with a V-stitch. And the front is just one big square. Little wavy where I put the border on. But yes, beautiful colour combination, as one would expect from Attic24. Just a shame I'm not getting the wear out of it that I should be. Hello again. You've caught me in the middle of my 6 medium-sized bags here. I figured out something really cool this morning. It was a bit of a duh moment, really, because yesterday I could go and get one of those little bags, couldn't I? Those small bags that I just made, I constructed them in that I put the outer and the lining together with the channel in between, sewed that together, and then I put them together like this. Outer to outer, inner to inner, sew all the way around, leaving a gap for turning, which is great. But when you get to the point where you top stitch, after you've turned everything out, it's really thick just here. Not that thick. I mean, really, it's only quilting cotton and batting, but that cotton batting is quite sturdy stuff. And I was getting skip stitches right there because the walking foot wasn't liking it as it approached. Sorry, there's fluff in the air again. The fluff is flying once more. So I was just starting to clip all of these together. I'm making 6 more mediums and I'm clipping them all together. And I suddenly thought, hold on, there is a way I can get around this. So what I decided to do, there's some I haven't clipped yet here. What I decided to do with this batch is to, oh, you're not really going to see the top stitching on that, are you? Because it's such a busy print. Hold on a moment. This might work. So I opened it out, put it on the ironing board, and pressed my, even that's kind of dark, pressed my drawstring channel up towards the lining, seam allowances down towards the outer of the bag, and I top stitched it before I sewed the pieces together. I don't know if you can see that, but the top stitching's right there. No lumpy bits. Wish I thought of that yesterday. Never mind. The good thing about it is I'm ironing out all the problems, literally ironing out all the problems now, so that when I do a video tutorial for these bags later, I will have it all sorted out. Promise. The reason I stopped sewing, for some reason, my bobbin started to mess about. I think sometimes when I wind the bobbin, the tail of the thread gets caught up further into the winding, and yeah, it hung up on it. It made a horrible sound. And I thought I'd broken my needle, but luckily that was not it. So I'm going to be wasteful and take off the last of this thread on here and wind it again afresh. It's quite a lot on here. It feels very wasteful, but I don't want it to do that again because, you know, one likes the sewing to be smooth and easy, right? There we go. The other thing I was going to tell you was the interview with Roz of Rosberry Crafts is live. She put it up this morning. So go over to Rosberry Crafts. I'll link it underneath. She has, I know Roz in real life. She has a podcast. I didn't know she had a podcast till recently, actually, but she found mine and I therefore found hers. And we've known each other for a long, long time. Probably, yeah, because her kids are 12 and 13 now, so that means I must have known her about 14 years. And our paths have not crossed much since we used to go to those knit and chat sessions way back when. But it's a fun little interview, and hopefully you'll go watch it and give her a thumbs up. It's all good stuff. I do have to go out this afternoon. Mr. Stitches has his last chemo, woohoo, and a radiation, and I'm meeting a friend for coffee while he is having stuff put in his veins. And yeah, so we'll probably be home quite late because that does take up a lot of time. But at least it's his last one, and it's only a half dose. Last week he said, I want to go down to a half dose because he was getting the tinnitus. So that's good. And really, he's been only very mildly affected by the chemo over the last 7 weeks because it's only been once a week. The radiation is kicking his ass, though, I have to say. His neck looks terrible. But again, 1 more week of that and it'll be done. Tomorrow, exciting, going to the orthodontist, get the braces off. So I'll finish this video before I get the braces off, probably, because it's already getting really long. And the next time you see me, you'll be able to see my teeth. That will be weird. I've been looking at myself in braces since the June before last, the June of 2022. Holy cow, that's a long time. Anyway, that was all I came on here to say. Thought I'd just add a little segment in, because I thought I'd better add something in towards the end of this video in case you fast forwarded through all the stash review ones. I might have to do a stash review of the quilting cottons as well, although I can't say it'll be very exciting. They're all quite well sorted, and mostly it'll probably just be reminiscences of, oh, this is left over from this and this is left over from that. Okay, I'll stop waffling now and get back to my sewing, because the more I can do now, the less I have to do tonight. We had a little snowstorm yesterday. Just a couple of inches of snow, and it got below freezing, so it was a little chilly. It's like -2 this morning as I'm driving in to my orthodontist's office. And I'm parked outside, and today's the day for the braces to come off. Woohoo! Got a photograph of myself with them on yesterday. I'm going to take a photograph later with them off. So it's very exciting. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm worried that when the braces come off that I'm going to have two-tone teeth, because they might be a different color underneath the braces than they are on the exposed parts of my teeth. I'm also a little nervous that my teeth might feel a bit sensitive for a while, or, you know, it's just weird. If it's going to feel like a flying trapeze without a safety net for a while, I think. I'm actually early, which I'm pleased about. I hate being late. My family was always punctual, if not early, when I was growing up. It was well entrenched in me to never be late. I hate being late. So I think the plan is whip off all the metal today and scan my mouth. Probably get an up-to-date X-ray, because obviously they X-rayed my entire head when I first got the braces. And I'm assuming that they're going to do a follow-up X-ray just so they've got a before and after, and they're going to do a 3D scan of my mouth so I can get retainers, nighttime retainers, and those will be ready tomorrow. So I'll be back here same time tomorrow to pick those up and presumably get a little lecture on how to use them. Can't be that hard, right? Put them in the evening, take them out in the morning. How hard can that be? Are you ready for the final reveal? Taking them off was so much quicker and easier than I expected.
fantastic. They snapped off real easily. They polished off the old glue and did some extra polishing. And now they feel really weird because I haven't felt my own teeth for so long. I haven't been able to run my tongue over my teeth for a really long time. I'm so happy with this. And I will put in a photograph of the photographs they took when I first went in. You know, when they put the little things in your cheeks and spread your mouth open so that they can get photos from all angles. I'll put that into the video that I'm doing so that you can see how bad they were before. It's funny because when I first told people I wanted to get braces, or I was getting braces, or I got braces, they were like, what do you want to do that for? Your teeth aren't that bad. And you know what? They were typical British teeth. Kind of crowded, sort of angled inwards. And it wasn't really until I looked at the pictures today of the before that I realized how unsymmetrical my mouth was. Really unsymmetrical. When I first got the braces on the top level, because they did that 3 months before they did the lower ones, the wire was sort of doing this. It was very zigzaggy. And of course, by the end of the 20 months, the wire was almost straight. So you can see what the difference is. I can say F's again now, and presumably I can whistle. Yep, I can whistle again. I haven't been able to whistle for 20 months. Oh my gosh. I'm going to keep catching sight of myself in the mirror and getting surprised each time, aren't I? Time to wrap up this very long vlog. Thought you might like to see my cross stitch that I did a long, long time ago of the island of Jersey, which is the island I was born in and grew up in. I think my Auntie Iris sent me that a long time ago. I really enjoyed making that. So yeah, an exciting day for me. New smile, no metal in the mouth. Going to feel weird for a while, but I'm really excited about it, as you can probably tell. Thanks again for watching, even if you fast forwarded past the boring bits. And I'll see you again next time.